Dad. Hi, it's Annie.
Oh, dear God.
What? What is it?
Are you noticing what I'm noticing?
What?
That we look like we are about to go to the M Den and sing the Michigan Wolverine fight song.
Wait, this is completely inappropriate.
I'm not kidding. I might have to change. Also,
Not the maize and blue.
disgusting, despicable. Should we change? Like, I'm not kidding. This is really bad for our brand.
Gotta rock. For anyone who's not watching, we just realized that I'm in blue and Annie's in yellow. We look like we're repping the University of Michigan.
Wait, also, I'm in yellow, bright yellow.
National champs, baby.
I'm in a bright yellow jacket and blue nails, and Kate's in a bright blue sweatshirt and yellow nails, and we really look like we are about to go to Zingerman's and then
North Campus. And then the big house.
Hail to those motherfuckers. I actually don't know the real words to that. And I told Dad that the other day. And he was like, you did Once Upon a Time. And I was like, no, I'm telling you right now, the only Michigan fight song words I know are about them being a slur. And I never learned the real words.
As you shouldn't.
So anyway,
welcome back, everyone.
How's everyone?
To the long story short.
How's how are you doing?
You know, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I would say I am too, actually.
I'm actually really bad, but we're just gonna lie.
I'm sorry for the week off that we had. There was like an appendectomy.
There's a fire.
There was
an illness. There was sort of a general malaise.
There was a Met Gala. That we famously had to attend, so we couldn't record last night.
There was a Met. There was a malaise. There was a
measles and mumps.
Exactly.
And
but we're back. Mitchell Robinson not hitting free throws with the New York Knicks.
And I was trying to think of like a firefighter, something with an M.
Men with big fat hoses. Just kidding. Do you want to talk about the fire?
I'll give a top line.
Give a top line on the fire. Trigger warning. Fire.
No, like seriously though, it actually was really traumatic, and I don't really want to trauma dump at the top of the app. I usually save that for the end. But essentially, there was a fire alarm that went off in my building. I live in a 6-story walk up, and it was like quite faint. And Rachel and I were home, and we were like, "That's odd." And then all of a sudden, the fire alarm got a little bit louder. And can I just say one thing about a fire alarm? Why is most people's first inclination to say it's probably nothing? Wouldn't you want to err on the side of it being something and then be dumb and feel stupid that it's not?
I mean, ain't that the story of my anxiety's life?
But
no, you're right.
Like,
when it comes to like a fire, I would say yes.
So we were kind of like, that's annoying. Our building is like old and stupid. Within about 30 seconds, we realized that we were smelling smoke, and then we heard not one, not two, but I would say at least 18 firefighters in our stairwell with the largest fire hose I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's right.
And our neighbor was yelling that her apartment had filled with smoke. We ran out, and they ended up having to like break down 3 of her glass windows. We saw so much smoke come out. It was really scary. But all of that to say, I ran out of there without my phone, which was stupid. I know.
You were in slippers and like little terry cloth PJ pants.
It was also 1:30 p.m. So like that's on me. It's not like the collective ran outside in their pajamas. Everyone else had been like dressed for the day. So then everyone was coming up to me being like, was it your apartment? I'm like, guys, I know. I look like I ran out, and I did, but it wasn't my apartment. Anyway, it just made me be really grateful, actually, because it was a huge fire. We ended up out of our apartment for like an hour and a half. Kate came immediately to like, as my mom said to Kate, I don't think Annie realizes like how little she actually like has on her person right now. Like you should probably go over there. So Kate came over. Everyone was safe. our apartment, in some miracle, looked like nothing had happened, like our actual unit. But there was like soot all in front of our door. It was really scary. My neighbor, I will say, like, the speed at which the fire department showed up, the Red Cross disaster relief showed up. Like, I was actually really moved by sort of like the New York City,
Like the community.
the helpers, all that good stuff. So, all's to say, make sure you just review your fire safety procedures. We now have a fire blanket and a fire extinguisher in our apartment that we ordered. And I don't know, get renter's insurance. I feel like not enough people have renter's insurance. And like, you can control what you do in your own apartment, but you can't control what your neighbors do. Accidents happen. And I just kept thinking to myself, I have renter's insurance, and also like, I'm safe. It's just things. And yeah, it was just really scary. But so we were supposed to record a week ago today, but unfortunately,
The fire had other plans.
The fire had many other plans. And
Our plans went up in flames.
It's funny though how firefighters, like, that's just their life.
I thought you were going to say it's funny how they're all so hot.
They are so fucking hot.
Ironically.
Yeah.
Fittingly.
But they had like a whole triage station outside and like Gatorades ready. Like, it looked like the half marathon, like, hydration station, like, for when they came out.
Didn't you say there was like a woman who was like running the hydration station?
Yeah. And like, I thought about a career move.
What do you think the application process for that is like?
I'm sure you have to have a lot of credentials around like fire safety, which I clearly like don't have.
Wait, do you want to know who does have that? Me.
Why do you have fire safety credentials? You know you don't.
Yes, I do. Please hold.
I have literally no idea what she could be pulling out of her Mary Poppins bag right now. Convenient. She pulled what? Can you please explain?
I used to have an ID proclaiming my status as a New York City fire guard.
Wait, oh, from the Page program.
Yeah, when I was an NBC Universal Page, I don't know if people know that, I was actually an NBC Universal Page. Much like how my fiance's name is Macklin.
Right.
And they made us do this fire guard safety training at the fire station in Brooklyn, where we just had to like learn all these procedures about like how to get people out of like an auditorium in the event of a fire.
Wait, can I give you a couple of things that I learned?
Yes.
If you, everyone knows this, and it sounds like common sense if you're not in a fire. If you touch your front door and it's hot in any way, shape, or form, you got to find a different way out, or you just stay in, because the last thing you want to do is open your door and let your own apartment engulf in flames, because if it's hot, it means the fire's right there. We did like a whole fire safety course in our apartment the next day because it was important that we knew like best practices.
I'm obsessed.
But it really just also did reaffirm to me, freeze, fight, flight, or freeze. The speed at which I flew.
Oh yeah, I'm a flyer.
That's a Gail Myers thing for sure.
Oh yeah, Gail loves to fly.
I am a fleer. And I just yelled back as the men were running up the stairs to fight the fire. The hot men with the huge hose.
Did you take a look at their butts?
I actually, not while I was running out, but yeah. And I said, is there a little brunette girl back there? And they literally were like, yeah.
Did you turn into like
I don't know. I got really
like a 1920s film star?
I hadn't seen Rachel. I didn't know where she was, so I was yelling at them. Meanwhile, like, they're trying to fight a fire.
Right.
They're like, yeah, she's like right there. I was like, okay, Rachel. So anyway, everyone was safe. The apartment next to mine was not.
The person
was really sad, but it was just kind of one of those moments where we were like, we're lucky to have a community. We had her in for some water, and we're gonna reach out. Stop.
Sorry.
We're gonna reach out in the next couple of days and make sure she's okay. She had family in the area. I also did say to Rachel and Logan, like, I feel like I take for granted the fact that like we could we have people here that we could go like stay with if we really needed to.
Yeah, that's scary.
So anyway, it was scary, but that's why there was no pod episode. So like a 3-alarm fire, and I mean it, was the reason we didn't record last week. But in other news, there were other things going on as well. Appendectomy.
Yeah, Mac had his appendix out. There was just a lot going on. But we're back.
We're back.
We're on the track.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk some smack.
Yeah, exactly. Where's my phone?
Are you someone who's having thoughts on the Met Gala?
No.
Okay. Anyway.
Are you?
I like to look. It's like...
Wait,
careful your arms.
I'm a huge observer.
Yeah, the Met Gala, I don't mean to sound like a woke... us on our liberal podcast. I don't mean to sound like a woke social justice warrior.
Yeah.
But like the Met Gala is one of those things that like has gotten less exciting for me the further we've gotten into sort of the
Jeff Bezos of it all.
Or just like, I feel like the darker our country gets, the more I'm like you can't tell me that's not the Capitol and the Hunger Games.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. And I also think that there's a weird like celebrity thing going on right now with like Jeffrey Epstein and Diddy, like those sorts of events and functions to me, I'm always like, who here he's dead, but who here was like really good friends with Jeffrey Epstein? Like probably a lot of you. And like, I don't know, there's just weirdness, but I do think it's a fine line, right? Because like, I don't know, I know you saw Devil Wears Prada too. I have not yet, but I heard it was like a commentary on the importance of like art and fashion in such a tech centric world.
Yeah.
And how important print media is. And I do think
and the Met was all about like art this year.
I was going to say, I think the Met is one of the last things standing from that people still really, really, really care about from like the Devil Wears Prada OG era. Like, can you name something else that's still as culturally like important as the Met Gala in terms of art and fashion 26 years ago? 20 years ago?
Maybe not.
I mean, I'm sure that there are things, and I'm curious to have a think on what they are. But I do think that it's the legacy of it all, I think, is something that it's a lost part of the culture.
Absolutely.
Like print media and fashion and all of that stuff, I think has been so digitized. But I do think that, what?
Just it was very loud.
Oh, sorry. But I do think that it's fun.
It's so fun. And I like when people, what?
No, nothing. I had something bitchy to say.
About me?
No.
Oh.
Go on.
I got nervous.
No.
Do you think we'll ever get in a full-on fight on the pod? I guess we have. We've just edited it out.
Have we?
Yes. Episode 3. I came home after a happy hour with someone and I like started crying. I was like, I can't do this.
I don't remember that.
Okay, never mind. Anyway.
I'm doing so much post-production. It's like hard to keep track.
Yeah. We've not only edited the episodes, but also our recollections of them.
Exactly.
Tell me.
Everyone's saying like I'm the new fashion police.
Oh, yes. Which you're never going to be the new Joan Rivers.
You know I'm loving
and you
her.
loved a Juliana Rancic. You loved a Joan Rivers.
Yeah, I don't know. I find the Met Gala to be an interesting reflection on where we are as a society, but it's not something that I'm like the first Monday in May. I also like, I don't know, my roommates went to go see Star Wars last night, even though the Knicks game and the Met Gala were happening.
I'm obsessed.
May the 4th.
Being with you.
And with you.
And with your spirit.
Exactly. So anyway, do you have thoughts on the Met Gala? Like
I thought I should mention it because it happened yesterday, and it's like, it felt really unexciting to me this year.
Oh.
I don't know, like, I don't know. I feel normally more like.
Interested?
Yeah.
I also just find the theme to be always ambiguous in a way that's like annoying.
Wait, okay, here's something I can say about the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Okay. So every year they'll say that, and I want to be clear, I'm not chirping the Met Gala. I'm chirping myself and my own intelligence. Every year.
Chirping? I haven't heard that since 2016.
Oh.
Chirping?
I thought I was like using like a hip phrase. Sorry.
No,
okay.
I love it.
So,
no shade.
No tea, no shade.
Exactly.
But first, coffee. Anyway, so I feel like the Met will announce the theme. And of course, I'm not knowing about it until like 3 days before, because that's when I really start to tune in as like a bandwagon Met Gala fan.
Of course.
And then I'll hear the theme and it'll be like, Like, I actually want to
Laissez-faire economics with a touch of sparkle. And it's
like,
like,
yes,
what?
except it's more like here, that was funny. Met Gala theme 2026. What was it
Hey,
called?
don't give Anna Wintour any ideas. That's a great theme. Laissez-faire economics with a touch of sparkle.
That's gonna be the 2027.
Yeah.
And Kendall's gonna show up in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. So the theme was fashion is art. Okay.
Yes.
That's what it was called.
Which is why I loved Emma Chamberlain's look. It looked like watercolors.
Yes, I liked that one too. But fashion is art was the name of the theme. So I'm like, okay, art. And then everyone in TikTok and on Instagram is like, so obviously it is inspired by the human form and how the human body impacts the living image or some shit. And I'm like, wait, like, was that obvious to anyone else? And what I'm saying is, like, every year, like, there's a theme. Yeah. And I'm thinking I'm knowing what the theme means. And then people show up on the red carpet and everyone's like, that's not on theme because it doesn't have the obvious, element of, like, an animal hoof that is obviously so imperative to the central themes
of the
carpet.
Right.
Which, again, I don't. Every year it makes me feel like an idiot.
Well, the dandyism one, I was like, I don't even want to pretend to know because I don't. And so.
Was that last year?
I thought so.
Maybe 2 years ago.
But I think it's cool, and I love it for I love it for everyone who loves it. We know what it's like to feel that type of passion for things. It's not something I feel that type of passion for, but for people that do, I can understand how that's like their Super Bowl.
I agree.
Like,
I mean, I like it more than I like the Super Bowl for sure.
Oh, I think they're actually kind of even for me. In like both are sort of like really cool.
Okay, I have a question
for the people that care a lot.
If tomorrow you could either step out and this is the weirdest, I'm going to sound like I'm high. I'm not. If tomorrow a genie came into this room and which let's ignore the fact that that's not how genies work.
Right.
But
we would
need a bottle. There need to be some rubbing and wishing. But let's say
there's always the need for a little rubbing,
especially with the firemen. Anyway, of course. So let's say a magician comes into the room, a warlock comes into the room and says, I can grant you one wish. You can either, this is going to be the stupidest wish.
Ask me.
You can either be granted the physique and skill of an NFL.
This is so not where I thought this was going.
The physique for one day. You can either be granted.
And then I go back to little old me.
Then you go back to wearing this adorable little yellow Zara bomber jacket.
It's more like a windbreaker.
Yes. So you can either be given the physique and athletic skill of an NFL player and experience what it's like to play in and win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Or now I know what you're going to pick. I don't know why you would pick that one, actually.
Hold on.
Or you could be given, like, the physique and sort of eye for walking a carpet of, like, Kendall Jenner and, like, walk the Met Gala carpet for a night.
I would say, I don't know. I mean, I am curious about what it would be like to have, like, well, that was going to be odd.
What were you going to say?
I've just always been curious what it would be like to, like, walk around with, like, an additional appendage.
Oh, my God. Okay.
However.
That's not really where I thought you were going.
However, I think I would say, does the CTE last?
No.
Okay. I feel like I know more what it's like to, like, strut in an amazing fit. I'm not saying I look like Kendall Jenner. I've been on the red carpet, but I think I'm just like, I have a really big, like, zest for new experiences and opportunities. So I would say I would do something more different, and I would choose the Super Bowl.
Okay, love.
What about you?
Probably the Met Gala. I don't care about football. I was just wondering. Also,
yeah,
if you could choose.
Are you okay?
Actually, let's just forget it. Let's move on.
No, I want to hear.
No, it wasn't interesting.
Okay, can I ask another thing?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I do have a serious thing I want to talk about before we end. Nails.
I make one bad nail decision every spring, and I think this is it.
I think I'm in mine right now too.
And can I tell you what happens? You can tell me if you also experience this. I make my one bad nail decision in either April or May. Mm-hmm. And then I only get light pink for the rest of the summer because I'm so traumatized. And every year April rolls around and I'm like, okay, I'm not like, I'm like graduating from my dark winter colors, and I'm going to do a spring one or a summer one, but it's going to be fun, and I'm going to do pastel. And then I get some fuck ass blue or some fuck ass purple or some fuck ass like cherry red, and I regret
Water
it.
Yellow.
And I regret it for 4 months, and I only get light pinks. And then November rolls around and I'm like, thank God we're back in fall. Who can relate?
I always get a hot orange.
You do in the summer.
Over my birthday.
I didn't know it was tied to August.
Mm-hmm. Over my birthday, I like to have a hot reddish orange nail.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, it makes me feel kind of spunky.
Are you going to do it again this year?
Of course.
Of course.
I'm not crazy.
So,
do you think I've lost my mind?
Wait, but between now and then, like, do you feel like the bad nail decision puts you in like the place of...
I mean, I'm definitely going to rock like a pink next, or maybe a purple.
See, a purple is always where I go wrong.
Really? So you actually walked in here. This is so interesting. You actually walked in here and I was thinking how much I liked your blue.
Oh, that's nice
So
of
maybe
you.
the beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Kate? So true. And that kind of ties us back to the Met Gala of it all. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Absolutely.
And Lauren Sanchez, not the beholder. Okay, I have a question.
She's the biatch.
Yes.
I'm in such a weird mood right
I
now.
have a question for you.
Yes.
Oh,
can I say something?
of course.
Sorry. I know we've talked about Summer House literally every week, and I actually don't think I have much to say on it this week. However, well, I could if I wanted to, but I'll refrain. I've seen some TikToks talking about how Amanda Batula, the woman who's caused all of this strife in the Summer House universe, how she's behaving the way she is because she's on SSRIs.
Kate, thank you.
I'm like, whoa.
Don't bring Prozac into this.
Everyone's like, get Amanda off her Prozac, or like Amanda's on too much Prozac. I'm like, if Amanda was on too much Prozac, first of all, she'd probably have no interest in having sex with Wes.
So true. Unless she's on a heavy dose of Wellbutrin as well.
Yeah. Second of all, she's probably like, I just don't think.
I couldn't agree more. I also think it's a prime example of the internet taking like some random correlation and being like, and this is why. And it's like,
also,
the fuck are you talking about?
Also, like, let's give it up for her, which now this crown has been passed to Sierra, who's now also a Prozac queen. But like, she did so much to, like, Amanda did help. Like, she talked a lot about SSRIs and like dealing with her depression
and like normalized that.
And like that can still be a good thing that she's on Prozac now that she's the villain. Everyone's like, and it's because of her Prozac. I'm like, okay. I don't think we need to demonize mental health medication.
Medication that makes people a better version of themselves in a lot of ways. I would
also,
argue.
I don't know anyone who's taken a medication that's made them fuck their friend's ex. That's just not a
side
thing.
effects of Prozac. But also, can I just say too, like, I was thinking yesterday, speaking of the Met Gala, seeing Sierra step out in that amazing fit and like have like so much fun that night, it seemed. I don't know, social media, whatever. My thought actually was, wow, I can't believe how quickly, like, if this was truly like the friendship that we thought it was on TV, like Sierra has like a lot of resilience.
Yes.
And like this horrible thing that happened to her, she's not letting get in the way. And that was my first thought. And my second thought was, wow, I'm so glad that she's talked about her anxiety and depression. And I'm so glad she's on medication that has helped her like be as resilient as she has been. The idea to put the Prozac on, I also don't even understand. Is it like people are saying that she doesn't like,
I
what?
don't know. When you're on Prozac, you don't care about anything. And so yada, 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 yada. Like, I don't know. What I do know is that that's weird.
Wrong.
And incorrect.
I couldn't agree with you more. The final thing I will say about Bravo tonight is, why is an old cast member named Luke running for mayor?
Wait, okay, I have a question. We did mention
Is he
this
running for mayor?
for Congress, and we did actually mention this on the last episode, but I want to say, no, I have a follow-up. So a man who gaslit, a man who love bombed and gaslit on Summer House, but is very liberal, is running for Congress. Let's say you are, this is a better whip around. Let's say you are a constituent
Sure.
of Luke's theoretical district of Minnesota, but and he's very liberal in all of his you love every single one of his policies. You think he'd be a great politician, but you've seen him gaslight and love bomb Hannah Berner. Do you vote for him? I've been thinking about this a lot.
Well, there've got to be other Democrats running in the primary.
Well, I was just going to say, like, I think I'd have to vote for him if it was the general. But
Sure.
I think I'd need to vote for another candidate in the primary because...
It's performative.
Are you gaslighting me right now, Luke?
Are you lying to me?
Are you
right
love
now?
bombing me with your stance on immigration?
Also, I'm just confused. Yeah. I'm just confused because he was like doing a lot of woodworking
Of course.
and now he's a politician.
Also, doesn't he live in New York?
Also, this is just classic, like the ego on men. Like, I'm just going to like run for office now. Like, have you taken a civics class ever?
Well, unfortunately, I don't think that's needed in this country.
Yeah, it seems as though it's not a prerequisite. Anyway, I would love to be part of Paige and Hannah's text conversations the day he announced that he was running for Congress because that's fucking hilarious.
I think we don't need men to be I don't think we need more gaslighting men in politics.
Men who gaslight. I thought you were saying like
we should absolutely gaslight men in politics.
Okay,
no, I'm
agree.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I wanted to talk about something quickly.
Yeah, can we say one more
Yes.
television thing?
Yes.
Bailey, really quickly, and Sabrina
Oh, yeah.
on Summer House. I don't know if Bailey is still getting the hate that she was getting originally. The juxtaposition between Ben, who's a new cast member, and his girlie Sabrina, their relationship and the Jesse Lexi thing last summer is so sexist to me, the way that it was edited. Jesse, they're like, haha, Jesse's in love with Lexi Wood, different cast member. This is so silly, ha ha ha. And then Sabrina comes on the show and is telling some of Ben's friends about how Ben said that she should like meet his parents and like come for Christmas. And the editing in the background is like the music that they play when like they're like, oh, this person's crazy or like whatever. And then the confessionals are people being like, she's like so obsessed with him and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what happened to how silly and funny and flirty and cute it was that Jesse Solomon was in love like after one day?
Yeah. I agree.
I just don't think that it's fair.
I agree. I think lots of women are getting weird edits on this season, to be honest.
Like Dara,
but yes.
Dara.
And like, why'd they cut Levi out? Anyway.
Why'd they cut Levi out? And also Dara's
not getting a weird edit. Dara's just getting lots of hate off of the show, which I think is weird.
From cast members.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm also just like, I don't know. I loved how quickly so many of her like followers came in defense of her and were like, if she wanted to be more famous, she would have gone with someone who's more famous on the show. Mm-hmm. She just liked KJ. I like them.
I like them too, a lot.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk quickly before we end the pod today about something political.
Yeah.
Which we haven't really touched on, which is all of the things happening to voting rights in this country, which you may or may not remember was originally like part of the whole deal with this country. We were all supposed to be able to vote.
Yeah.
And so this month, the Supreme Court weakened the Voting Rights Act, which is going to make it harder to challenge voting maps for racial discrimination, which is bad because that can literally like disenfranchise so many people and like make it easier for states to like gerrymander and create their like voting districts in ways that will purposely be discriminatory.
Will you actually just define gerrymandering really quickly?
Yes.
I feel like there's so much like jargon and people are afraid to ask questions like that.
Gerrymandering is the practice of drawing electoral district boundaries to unfairly favor one political party, group, or incumbent. By manipulating map shares, politicians, quote, choose their voters to secure electoral wins, often reducing competition and creating unrepresentative, lopsided legislatures. So basically, like, Republicans could try to carve out or Democrats could try to carve out districts that they know that, like, wouldn't really naturally be a voting district, but they know that, like, oh, we'll win if we, like, carve out the district in this way.
And, like, you can look on some states, like, voter maps, like, some of the districts make absolutely no fucking sense that it would be, like, that would be, like, the district that you're in, because it's a way to inflate certain demographics of people. And the Voting Rights Act, can you explain sort of what the Supreme Court, what the change to the Voting Rights Act was?
So they said that you are not allowed to challenge voting maps and say that they are discriminatory based on race. You have to prove that there was intentional discrimination.
Right.
Rather than just like, oh, this discrimination wasn't intentional. It was just like a result of this unrelated redrawing of districts. So
it makes it
it's much harder to prove that something was like intentionally discriminatory. So that's, if you've seen that in the news, that's kind of what's going on. And it's very concerning. And unfortunately, because of the way the Supreme Court works, there's not really anything we can do to like reverse that right now. However, there's also something going on right now in Congress called the SAVE Act, which is SAVE stands for Safeguard American Voter Eligibility. And it would require strict documentary proof of citizenship, i.e. a passport or birth certificate, in person to register to vote, which potentially threatens voting access for millions. It's the most restrictive voting bill in decades. And obviously this is bad and relevant for many, many reasons, but I know we have a lot of women who listen to this podcast, the majority. And I just wanted to highlight the way in which this could potentially impact you, dear listener. Mm-hmm. So if you're a woman who decides to change their last name when they get married, which slay, your name on like your mailing address, your ID, etc., would not match your name on your birth certificate, thus making it much harder and potentially impossible to vote and prove your identity should this SAVE Act pass. That's just one example of the ways in which it's scary. I highlight that one because I feel like that one probably would like directly impact people who are listening. And I know sometimes it's easier to understand why things are scary when it like relates to you in your own life.
Yeah. I also feel like when Trump got reelected, people were like, we're literally living in the Handmaid's Tale. And a lot of the criticism to that was like, okay, but we're not. Like, what is that? Like, what does that look like in practice? It's not like women are going to like lose their right to vote. This is like the first stab at that, I think, in my opinion. And to your point, like if there are things you can do to protect your own ability to engage civically, I think that it's important to know that as people, like a lot of our listeners are like about to get married or, and so that's important. And I also just think though that like these things don't happen overnight. And so the criticism of like, well, yeah, but what's it actually going to look like in practice? Like this is one of those things that like was in Project 2025 and like is starting to become our reality. And so I think just like educating people on what that could look like is super important. And also just like, I was brushing up on some history yesterday around like how recently women and people of color were given the right to vote in this country. And it wasn't that long ago.
Or like own land.
Yeah. And like open a credit card.
Not be enslaved.
Right. Not be, yeah.
For people of color.
Yeah. And so all of those, and also like a huge part of like the fucked up parts of Reconstruction were like voting, like literacy tests and voting eligibility logs and all of those things. It's a way to protect people that the current government wants to see show up to elections and disenfranchise those that they don't.
It's right. And it's sort of its own form of like gerrymandering, if you will. Like the
Right.
reasons Republicans push so hard for this is because a lot of times women, especially women of color, do not, mainly women of color, do not vote red. They vote blue. And so if we make it harder for even a small fraction of people
to show up or
of
get
those
out.
people to vote, it benefits those people. The Republicans is what I mean by that. So
Yeah.
I know we've said this before. Super, super easy to call your representatives, and we'll put a link below again. But I just wanted to share that today because I think you all should know about it.
Also, like famously, fundamental pillar of democracy is giving people the right to vote and not just white men.
Absolutely. People forget because that actually is how our country started.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, it would be cool if it didn't end that way as well. Mm-hmm. And with that, we will see you next week, pending all
No natural disasters.
or health-related emergencies.
I hope you could all hear those knocks on wood. Okay.
We love you all.
Bye.